The religious landscape in the United States is changing. According to a Pew Research poll, less Americans identify as Christians, a drop of nearly 8% in just 7 years. And among college graduates, the numbers are even worse, a 9-point drop. So why does it seem that young people are less interested in Christ? And is this just the beginning, some might say, maybe the end of Christianity? All right, let's bring some common sense and bring it down here. Welcome to The Hard Line, a graduate of Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ, a lifelong Catholic parishioner who can speak to the millennial generation. Anna Yee joins us. Anna, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
My pleasure, Anna, because we need to get a handle on this from the millennial side of things, because here's what comes out in the survey. Millennials have become less affiliated with religion as they have aged over the last decade. 2007, 25% didn't affiliate with a religion. Current survey, 34%. That's a pretty big rise if you think about it. So why is it that, in your opinion, and you talk to a lot of your peers, are they turning away from religion?
I think it can be a little deceiving. I think, first of all, you need to know the difference between religious and spiritual. So maybe in the sense of people are backing away from identifying with a specific religion, I can see that. I can see more people just being more spiritual, whereas they're not afraid to, share their faith or talk about their faith. But as far as identifying with being Protestant, Catholic, Baptist, Jewish, whatever, maybe that aspect is what this panel is referring
Well, you're
to.
bringing up a
And
very good point here when you're talking about religious and spiritual here, but you just said something, back away
yeah,
from a certain religion. Why
right.
would they do that?
Um, you know, I think that the culture, it's funny that I feel like people's sensitivity it is really growing. Like people are just sensitive, more sensitive to whether it's religion, whether it's race, those kind of touchy subjects, or they've become touchy subjects. So being able to talk about that openly, um, as far as being a black and white, hey, I'm Catholic,
So
hey,
it's
I'm
more or less
Christian.
having to do it, speaking out loud about it, and then maybe not being ostracized for it or not being made fun of?
I think in a way, I mean, that's always something. You're always gonna, take a chance when you announce your beliefs out there. You're always gonna put yourself out. If you put yourself out there, there's a chance of being ostracized or being made fun of or just having some kind of negative
Have
backlash.
you
Uh,
experienced that personally?
um, you know what? No, I haven't. I haven't. I think that people, um, maybe just look away. I
Hmm.
post pictures, I post inspirational quotes. I on Facebook, on Twitter, and I get normally good feedback, but I think the people who don't like it just don't say anything.
Is it a
Um,
possibility here, Anna, that we're dealing maybe with relevance? Because what I hear from a lot of people of all ages is that they feel that the religion today in the 21st century doesn't speak to them in the 21st century. It doesn't seem relevant in our daily lives, and then it becomes rather boring.
yeah, in a sense, I think it's hard for people to follow old school rules or follow a set of rules. It's a lot of it is just go as you feel, be open to this, be accepting to that. But there's a fine line between being accepting and loving and then also being disciplined. And I think it's hard for people, um, to follow a certain set of rules. Um, and that's where religion comes in. Because, every church has their rule, every church has their set of commandments or, their religious
Is
beliefs.
that maybe it,
But
that people just want to be a little bit freer in how they express it and they don't want to be held down to what they might consider an ancient dogma?
yeah, I think there's some of that there. But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. I think if they actually tried to or maybe they had a bad experience with it, but the rules are there for a reason, in my opinion. And, there's different levels of the spectrum. You could be a strict Christian or you could be, not as strict. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or anything. And I actually think that as far as spirituality goes, I do see a lot more faith based comments, media
Mhm.
shows, movies, um, music in mainstream media. And I think that that's a huge step for, being able to share your faith, not necessarily your religion, but being able to talk openly about faith, God, your religious
I
beliefs.
only got about 30 seconds left here. Is it possible, too, that there are those people who are very spiritual and treat it as you have? And then I hear from some people that they're sick and tired of those who might have hijacked their religion, made it far too right, politicized it too much, made it almost an angry religion, and that bothers them. Do you think there's part of that?
Yeah, there's a stereotype of that. I mean, there's always going to be an extremist in any, not even just religion, in any belief. There's going to be the people who are just really open and really vocal, and that can put
Yep.
some people down or shy some people away. But not everyone is like that. You got to remember that. Not every Christian is going to
It's a different
shun
world.
others
It's a
away from
different
not being
world. You're right.
Christian.
Everybody has their own way of thinking. Anna, I want to thank you very much for joining us. You've given us an
Thank you.
insight. I hope we get a chance to talk again. Thanks so much.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Let me ask everybody here, go ahead, social media, and tell us what you think here. Do you agree or disagree with this? And what are your thoughts on that spirituality versus religion question? This is going to be a tough one. Get to it and let us know. Stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes of news, The Hard Line, continues.